So you're going to start with your straw. And so if you don't have a straw and you're making one out of paper, now is the time to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and make a paper straw here really quick, just in case other people need to do that too. We'll try it out. So I've got this slightly thicker paper here that I think is going to make a really good straw. So I've got it cut. I'm just going to roll it up like a straw, like this, and then we'll tape it together. And then that will be our straw. All right, so then if you already have your straw and you don't need to make a new one, then you're going to grab some paper. And I think maybe a smaller sheet of paper will work. So I'm going to use this that's like half of a sheet of paper that I'm going to use to build my rocket. So I have my straw here and I've got my little half sheet of paper. So if you don't have a half sheet, maybe you want to go ahead and cut it in half because we want our rocket to be a little bit smaller than our straw. All right, so then.
1 second, Elizabeth. I think Nippon, did you have a question? You had your hand up.
Will construction paper work?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's see, I might even cut mine down a little bit more. And if I cut it in half, then I could make 2 rockets, is kind of what I'm thinking. All right. Now I have this piece of paper here. And I'm going to, I'll tilt my screen down a little bit so you can see. Oh, I guess that's, you still can't see my table. My table is too short. All right, well, I'll just have to hold it up for you. So what we're gonna do with this piece of paper now is roll it around the straw. So you're using your straw as a guide for the size, and you're gonna roll your piece of paper around your straw. All right, so let's see, I've got my piece of paper that's wrapped around my straw here. And then you're gonna tape that piece of paper together on the long end here. So you can see this. So right where that seam is on the paper, I'm gonna tape it together so it stays rolled up like that. All right, and then I'm gonna pull it off of my straw here. So then I have my straw and my little paper roll separate.
Dexter, did you have a question?
Yeah. Is the straw supposed to fall out?
Yeah, the straw should fall out. You don't want it to be so tight that it keeps the straw in, because we want to be able to take the straw out and put it back in. So it's totally okay if the straw falls out. That's kind of how it should work. All right, so we've got our little roll of paper here and our straw. And we want the straw to be able to go in and out of that piece of paper. All right, now this doesn't really look much like a rocket yet. So now we've got to do some more work on that. All right, so you're gonna pick one end of your little paper roll and you're gonna fold it about 1 inch from the end. You're just gonna fold it down. So then you've made it like a flat cap at the end there. And then you'll want to tape that so that the end doesn't come back up.
Dre, do you have a question? You can unmute yourself if you have a question you want to ask.
All right, so here is now the body of our little rocket, right? So we've got it capped on the end here because we just folded that over, taped it down, and now we should still be able to put our straw.
Yep. Trey, are you ready to ask your question now?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
On the side that you choose, do you fold it?
So you want one end to be open, right? So we can stick the straw in it. And then the other end, that's where you're gonna fold it and tape it. So yeah, now it's closed off. We taped it down.
Like this?
Yeah, that looks good. All right, does everybody else have the start of a rocket? Awesome. All right, so now this is kind of the base of our rocket. It doesn't really look like much of one yet, but I think we're gonna go ahead and test it now so that we can decide what kind of modifications that we wanna add to it later. All right, so I actually have two because I have one that I made earlier too. So I'm gonna test both of mine. I've got this purple one and this white one here. I'll start with this one that I just made. And so you're going to use your breath to propel and launch our rocket. All right, so if you guys want to give me a countdown, maybe Peter can lead us in a countdown for a blast off, and then I will launch my little mini rocket here.
All right. I think that's a great idea. Is everyone's rocket ready to be launched? Nippon, do you have a question before we launch?
Is this right?
Yeah, that looks good. All right, now, but now we'll test it out and see how it works, and then we can make some modifications to it if we want to try to make it go further.
Yeah, if it doesn't work perfectly this time, that is totally okay. That's what the point of our testing is. All right, I'm gonna count down from 3, so get ready to launch it, and then once we count down, we will shoot our rockets off.
Great.
3, 2, 1, blast off. Let's see. I'm not seeing a lot of blast off.
It looks like Nippon's blasted off. Mine blasted off. Did anybody else get theirs to blast off?
That is totally okay if you're having some issues. I think Arlo walked by with a thumbs up quickly.
All right.
Thumbs down. Okay.
All right.
That is totally okay.
So if you're having some issues, now is the time that we can make some changes. So one of the biggest things that I have found can be an issue is if your rocket is too big for your straw. So if it goes down too far and you don't have very much straw, then there's really nothing to hold on to and nothing to blow on, and so that can be an issue. But that's an easy fix because we have scissors, right? So we could just cut our rocket to be a little bit smaller. I think I'm gonna do that with my white rocket that I just shot over here. So I think I'm gonna make this rocket just a little bit smaller. I think it's a little bit big for my straw. So I'm going to just kind of cut the end of it off there. So you could do the same thing if you feel like your rocket might be too long for your straw. And then we can try it again.
Trey, do you have a question?
Yeah. Do you blast off on the side that's this side that's folded or the other side?
So you have your rocket, right, that's closed on one side and then open on the other side. And so then on the open side, that's where you put your straw. And then you use your straw to blast off. Or if you don't have a straw, if you just have like a roll of paper to make a straw, then you'd put that on that end too. My roll of paper is a little bit too big, but I could make a rocket that would fit this roll of paper that would be the same way.
Dexter, did you have a question? I saw you put some question marks in the chat. I wasn't sure. Are you just generally puzzled?
Let's see here. I'm gonna try making.
What was that, Dexter? I couldn't quite hear you.
Never mind.
So are there some, Elizabeth changed the length of her rocket. Are there other things we could change about our rocket that might make it fly better? What do you think, Nippon?
Maybe we could change how much we folded this.
Oh.
That's true.
Making wings.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So I brought some little scrap pieces of construction paper that I was going to use to add some wings onto mine, because I think you're right. I think that might really help it to fly better.
One other thing I might think that might help, if your rocket is too loose on your straw, it might not fly, or if it's too tight on your straw, it might not fly. It looks like some people have really big rockets for a really tiny straw, so it's hard for the air to get captured. So that's one other thing you could consider.
Right, yeah, because you want, so I'm making a new one now with my big straw, basically, because I made this roll with a roll of paper. And so, yeah, you want your rocket to be fairly tight, not so tight that your straw can't move, but fairly tight. You don't want a whole lot of space in between your paper and your straw. All right, so I'm gonna try this bigger one here, because it'll give me an opportunity to try something a little different. All right, so I've got mine, got my tube taped here. There's the body of my rocket. Now I'm going to take my straw out here. I'm going to take this end.
Ooh, it looks like Nippon made wings with a straw. We're utilizing that straw a little bit.
Mhm.
Oh, interesting.
And it's still this is also used as the tail of the plane.
Ah.
So you have wings and a tail. All right, I'm curious to see how that one flies.
I can do it. I can launch it now.
Yeah, go
Hey.
for it.
Well, it's fun.
Whoa.
That was the best I could do.
All right, so I want to try this one now. So this is my, the body of my rocket to go on my big straw here. And so I'm gonna try this one now and see if this one will work. That worked pretty well for me, but it didn't fly very straight. It kind of went up into the air and spun around. So I think adding some wings, like somebody suggested, is a great idea. We'll try that with this one. Okay, so let's see here. I've got my scrap paper here. I'm gonna make some rocket wings out of this.
Looks like Arlo has some really cool wings on his too. I like that.
Awesome.
Nippon, do you want to ask another question or make a comment?
I'm even making little engines
Oh,
Wow.
to go next to the wings.
All right, so I've got a couple wings here. I'm gonna try to tape down. I think maybe the best way to do it is I'll fold it and then tape the flat part down to my rocket. Let's give it a try here.
it looks like some folks are ready to launch again. You are welcome to try yours out and see if it works better or worse with your new changes.
Yeah, I want to watch yours while I'm adding some wings to mine.
So it looks like Trey is ready to launch. Do you want to try, Trey? Go for it.
Yep. 1, 2, 3.
Did that shoot off? I couldn't tell.
Yep, it did. It launched over there.
Nice. Good work.
All right, let's see. I've got one wing on my rocket now. Now I got to add another one here.
If you are ready to launch, go for it. You can keep testing yours and seeing if you can make your rocket even better.
All right, mine has 2 wings now. I think I might also add a top to it. It makes it look more like a rocket.
Go ahead, Trey. What's your question?
Friends, ready to launch.
Corinne's ready to launch? Cool, let's see.
Corinne added some wings on hers.
Ooh. All right, let's see how that works.
Did it fly?
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Now I've got
I made
mine.
a little mini one.
You made a little mini one?
How's that? Is that gonna fly, Arlo? What do you think?
I think so.
Cool.
Let's see it. All right, so I've got mine now that has a top and some wings. So I'm gonna try to launch this one and see how it will go. Big straw here. All right. Ooh, I think that helped out the way it was flying, but I might add one more wing. I think maybe 3 wings might stabilize it even more. All right, let's see here. We'll add one more wing. See where that gets us. See, is anybody else ready to launch theirs? Oh, it looks like Nikon's ready.
Go ahead and launch it. Let's see how it goes.
I'm gonna launch it now.
All right.
So
Ooh,
this looks like I added wings and engines.
I see that. All
So
right, let's see how.
that's much better it worked.
I added working engines. I just added straws for it so I can launch off like 3.
Ooh, so a couple people are making some engines. That is a cool idea that I had.
I did mine. Watch.
We have a bunch of people getting ready to launch. That looked like it worked pretty well, Arlo. Nice. Nippons, you're testing yours. How'd that working? It looks like it's getting stuck a little bit, nah? Whoa, there it goes. Nice.
All right, now mine has 3 wings here. So we'll see if that might work better.
Triple.
Get my big straw launcher again. All right, so here's my rocket. Give it a shot. Oh yeah, I think it flies really well with 3 wings. That was awesome. All right, now I want to see some of yours. Anybody else ready to launch theirs? Looks like Trey and Corinne just did a launch maybe.
Looks like Arlo's doing another launch of his mini rocket.
Awesome.
Angled the screen so you can see.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do add some wings to my mini rocket. I've got my bigger rocket now that goes off of my large paper tube, but I want to work on this little one that goes off of the little straw. I think it might need some wings. Let's see, is everybody else still crafting? Still building their rocket? Let's see here.
I'm adding 3 straws.
I just tried one without the wings and it didn't fly. It just went straight down.
Cool.
Only my one with wings will fly.
Oh, so maybe the wings seem like they're really important for yours.
Dexter, what were you going to say? I think you got cut off there a little bit. You used 3 straws?
Yeah, using 3 straws actually helped it go farther because you can add more wind to it.
Oh, that's a cool idea that I had not thought of, using more than 1 straw. Interesting.
It's like having 3 engines, huh?
Yeah, very cool. I'm working on some wings for my little mini rocket here. Let's see if these will work. It's hard to tape on this mini rocket because it's so small. But I think these will help us out. I really love all the ideas you guys are coming up with. You came up with all sorts of things that I hadn't even thought of. I love the idea of having multiple engines. It's very cool. All right, so now I've got some wings on my rocket here. I think I might also put a little top on it. And then we'll try launching. All right, here's my little mini rocket. Got some wings and a top now. And I'm gonna give it a shot with my straw here. Ooh, so that one flew a lot faster, but it kind of went down. It didn't fly as far as my big one, so that's interesting. I wonder if maybe on the teeny tiny rocket, all those extra things were just too heavy for it.
All right. I got a question about what we are doing tomorrow. Should we wrap up, Elizabeth?
Sure. Yeah, I think everybody has the tools now to keep testing and building their rockets as they want. So if you come up with some cool designs you want to share, we'd love to see them. You can share them on our Facebook page, and you can keep going and keep testing and see what kind of rocket you can make that would go the farthest.